Hey everyone, Jamie here and welcome to this video. Today I am super excited to share with you my Storyline Chapters album, and most specifically my family chapters. It's sort of like Project Life meets Storyline Chapters, except Storyline Chapters took over. I wish, and you will see as I walk through this, that I would have just put 3 months in an insert. I didn't do that, but come and join me and watch what I did do. All right, friends, so like I said already, one of the things I wish I would have done was just put 3 months in here. This has January, February, March, April, May. So there's about 2 more months in here than there really should be. I would be happy to have a holder that has 4 books in it with 3 months at a time. But that's to use for next time. Live and learn. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. So today, like I said, I want to just walk through, won't take very long, April, May, and June. I just want you guys to get a look. I want to hopefully inspire you, maybe tell a couple more stories. And no matter how you scrapbook, it doesn't matter. I'm just choosing to use this format for these stories. So as with all of my Storyline chapter family chapters, there's the grid here on the left side and the story, right? I call it the story. And what I've done is I almost always shoot this portrait because I'm mostly shooting with my phone. So I have all these portraits sort of formatted photos. And the process is that I will crop them to 2 inches wide. So it makes them about 2.67 inches long. Odd kind of a size, I know. It's just what happens naturally. It's just part of my workflow. It's just kind of how this happens a little faster. So then I grid these out on a page, and then I'll have a couple of journaling spots like you can see here. This one actually has another photo underneath with the journaling there. This journaling is open up. This picture here was taken from my daughter's Instagram stories. And then I have the story over here, and I get a little more scrappy and creative and just have a little more fun with the page. For example, I'm not sure if you can see it, but over here is one of Scrapbook.com's Dotted Stencils. It is part of the background. It's kind of just making my own background there. The Love is one of their alpha stamps. It's one of their exclusive stamps. And all these supplies will be linked below. And then I just have a swatch here of pattern paper from Storyline Chapters, and then the story with some journaling. And you are going to see this play out week after week. A couple reasons for that you're going to find on the post that is linked with this. It's just a great way for me to get these stories told and to have them in a book and not have to rethink the wheel every time. You'll notice on this grid, just slightly different, where I kept this whole upper left section open and a little bit more journaling and some embellishing, but always with the month. Almost always, I think always, perhaps always, you're going to see the month on the page. Whether I've stamped it, I've used stickers here from the Storyline Chapters Scrapbooker stickers. Here I have the date and the week, and I've realized as I am pointing at week 16 right here, that is not the correct week. Super easy to change. I'm just going to pull that up. I use my typecast typewriter to do this the same way over and over again every week. So that's not anything different either. Here's a little peek at another journaling spot, and I use some Scrapbook.com exclusive stamps to create the cover of that page and a Bella Boulevard puffy sticker there. And again, the story. This time I printed a couple of photos. They're probably actually the same dimensions as these. Sort of made a photo strip, typed my journaling, and that is how that story is now played out on that side of the page. Continuing in April, this is actually week 16. Scrap.com stamps are used to stamp that, and I have some Carrie Bradford die cuts here. You can see this grid even is slightly different as well. So I guess you could say these 3 weeks are a variation on a theme, which is a popular technique I really love to employ. So while I still have gridded out the photos just the same, the journaling spot's in a little bit different place, and I just used one of the stickers from Storyline Chapters stickers and made a smaller journal spot right there, also still very interactive. Now this was a fun page. You're going to see I also employed another dotted background here. I'm not sure if you can see the artwork stamp, the texture stamps I used just to add and have some more play with the background. Then using a Carrie Bradford envelope cut file, I cut this. It's about a 5x7 envelope. Continuing with April, you have probably already seen this page. I posted this probably early August. This was in celebration of Carrie Bradford Studios' birthday. So she had sent me a couple of stamps and some digital cut files. And so I went to work and used those to make this page happen. I cut this icon camera from her cut file out using Ranger white watercolor paper. I like the texture of it. Then I sprayed it with Distress Spray Stain in black soot. And so that gave it a great black color. And obviously you can make that camera any size, you can spray any color. So that was a fun technique. And then over here to finish up was the story. Like I said, I repeated stamp on vellum for the title and just layers of background stamps, distress tags, more of the Storyline Chapters elements, and I did a little bit of stamp work here on this tag. And that rounds out that story. To finish April up, you can see where something I did here, just to point out, I don't have borders around these photos. And looking back on my pages, I prefer just a small border, and you'll see me pick that up again. So that's just one thing to note. Nothing fancy here at all. I'm in the process of working on graduation invitations here. And that was its own story with the COVID age of, do we send out invitations or not? So that became the big story of the week because it was a really stressful time trying to decide how we were going to go forward. All right, so that takes us into May. May kind of settles out here a little bit where I come back with the border. I'm happy with that. I just like the look a little bit better. Just a whole lot of Storyline Chapters is playing nicely here where I've made a tag and then just cut it. This is washi tape cut up into its words. The interactive journal here just has a paper punch circle and then this heart on top, which is also from the Carrie Bradford Studios icons. This was a new to me die set and it's going to be linked below. So I started utilizing it throughout the pages. It just felt very springy. And then just lots of layers, washi tape, words, dates, and the story that took place here on Mother's Day in May. This is, it's funny how I go back and I can see what products I just started using. And I just got the Skinny Alpha die set from scrapbook.com and I fell in love with them immediately. So I started using those on my pages and you're going to see those come to light a lot more often. Let's put it that way. This page is just a real classic how I've been doing all my pages where photo, date, photo, journal card, photo. That's like the classic Jamie formula right there for these pages. And then just a pretty page over here for my mother's birthday. And I noticed as I was getting ready to shoot this video, I made a little page here and I was going to add a grid of the day's activities and I haven't done it yet. So hooray for the post-it notes to remind me what was supposed to happen here. And I'm going to go back and make that happen. All right, this story here in May, you can see how my daughter's graduation came out. We graduated at home, of course, but you saw this, or you should have seen, or if you haven't seen, let me refer you to my IGTV channel, and you can see how I put this photo stack together. It's just a very, very easy way to implement lots of fun layers of color and texture, and then also, most especially, a lot of photos. So check that out there through my Instagram. And so this kind of broke the mold a little bit for my grid, and that's okay because I just want to have fun too. I get a little bored, and so I will very often change things up a little bit. And then I played out the rest of the stories that were happening that week. You can see some stencil work, which is very common now. I loved adding the stencil textures on these backgrounds just so much, and just playing with layers and more die cuts. You can see I just employ a lot lot of the same ideas over and over again. And this is going to finish up a look at May. And what you can see here is I did my same grid. I played with a lot of the, number one, the sticker books from scrapbook.com. It's an exclusive product that they just came out with, and I really love these words. And then I used some of their stamps. I think this is from Magical Place, and I just picked a couple out. And this also is from their sticker book, where there's a bunch of alphas in the black, and I believe the black and gold book. And here's a page that I just used one of the already patterned, I call it a cutaway page. And so I just kept it intact and added this photo on it. Oh, my joy is coming loose. Do not let your joy come loose, whatever you do. And I have a little interactive journaling tag right here that I added behind the photo. And that's it for May. All right, in this insert, we are going to start with June. It starts out just like all the rest of them. Beautiful grid, lots of layers, and just one of my favorite pages. I believe I've posted this one already as well in my Instagram feed, and I just loved putting this page together so much. It's just real easy to layer all the elements in the Storyline Chapters collection. This is an interesting page. I wanted to point something out to you. So here we are in June. This is my daughter's 21st birthday. That should be the story that's going on here. Look at this over here. There are no photos. Why, pray tell Jamie, why are there no photos? I didn't take any. These are all the photos I took that whole entire week. And I even asked her, do we have any pictures of you when we went to when we had our family dinner, when we went to sometimes people, it just doesn't happen. That is it. It's a lesson learned. It's a bad lesson learned. I have no excuse and no explanation. I'm merely confessing this is a photoless page here where I actually talk about my shortcoming. All right, June here. I kind of played a little bit with my journaling card here where I wanted to open this up. I had a longer picture. There's no way I was going to get this picture to stay 2 inches. So I had to augment that a little bit, and I liked the way that worked out. And then instead I moved my month and dates and week and all that information down here to that part of the grid. Kept this the same with this interactive journal card here, and just the story of the week continues to play out. I don't know if there's really anything special. I really hope you see I just keep sort of continuing with the same ideas and what works with me until I change it up. There'll be a time where I change this all up again and it's going to look a little different, and I'm happy with that. I'm actually really happy with this page here, and this is the last page I'm going to show you. These pages aren't quite ready yet. This is the last page in June, the last week of June basically. This is week 26. June 21 through 27. And I did this one slightly different as well in that I did this. I actually used a background piece of paper here, and I just really loved the impact that it had. I still added in some stenciling and some stamp work. I added in a die cut from scrapbook.com. I have this actually goes underneath. The thing about having this pattern paper is I made this pocket go underneath. I haven't filled out my journaling yet, but that's where it's gonna go. And so I really loved how all this color played against this color over here. So that was a bit of a change up from past. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching this walkthrough video. I hope it was helpful to you. I hope you feel inspired to catch up with your stories if that's the case, to just realize your stories haven't expired. They're still there for you to tell. Enjoy the process. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to read your comments. If you have any questions, just want to say hey. And if you don't subscribe already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Can you believe I didn't even add a photo? What is even up with that?